That's it, my dear friends. Something extremely interesting has leaked about Season 3 of Squid Game. This might reveal who will live, who will die, and it may even hint at how Squid Game will end in its third season. So let's dive in and discuss this major Season 3 leak. Alright folks, let's get into it. I believe, though I could be wrong, that this might be the first major leak we have about Squid Game Season 3. The internet is buzzing, and of course we're staying sharp here to bring you all the latest updates about Squid Game and to break it all down with you. I know Squid Game has been dominating the channel a bit lately, but the hype is just too big right now. I'm super hyped myself. But don't worry, I'll be bringing content on other topics too, so stay tuned and rest assured. Now, as I mentioned, there's been a leak, and it's about the plot involving Soldier 11. She's one of the game's staff members, specifically part of the Triangle Group. It's worth noting that the Triangle Group is made up of the most highly trained individuals, the ones with the highest lethal skills, so to speak. Out of the three groups, if you take a closer look, the Triangles are definitely the most dangerous. The leak itself comes from a photo that the actress posted on her social media during the filming of Season 3. Here's what happened. The filming was done all at once, as if everything was part of Season 2. The Squid Game production team recorded everything together, but then decided to split it in half and turn it into a Season 3. So yes, Squid Game Season 3 has already been filmed and is ready to go. Now about the photo, it shows number 11 sitting down, and at first glance it looks pretty normal, right? But here's the big deal. In the photo, there's another staff member from the Squid Game games sitting next to her. Rumor has it that this person is none other than player 246. That's right. The same player who supposedly got shot in the last episode during Gi-hun's rebellion. He's also the one who has a daughter that number 11 became very attached to, and she was always keeping an eye on him to see if he was still alive. But is it really him? Well, judging by the image, it's hard to say for sure, even though people online are almost 100% convinced it's player 246. However, what probably confirms it isn't just the resemblance or recognition, it's what happened after the actress posted the picture. Just seconds after uploading it, she deleted the post, almost like a classic "oops, I messed up" moment. She probably shared the photo without realizing that player 246 was in the frame, and then got a stern warning from the Netflix and Squid Game producers. If you didn't know, yes, there are people whose job is to monitor these kinds of leaks, and they likely told her to take it down. But it was already too late. The internet doesn't miss a thing. And honestly, that's the most suspicious part of all, adding to the likelihood that the person in the photo is indeed player 246. Well, this already gives us a point in favor of our theory that he's still alive. That the Triangle guard who pointed the gun at him was actually number 11, and that somehow she made sure he survived after Gi-hun's rebellion. However, in this new photo, he's wearing the same jumpsuit as the workers in the Squid Game, which suggests that he's now infiltrated. From here, we can start piecing together some very interesting possibilities for Season 3 of Squid Game. For instance, how did player 246 end up becoming one of the guards in the games? I still believe what I mentioned the first time in my video about Season 2 details. Number 11 shoots player 246, but it's not a lethal shot. We know she's highly skilled militarily and incredibly proficient with firearms, so it's fair to assume she knows exactly where to shoot to avoid killing someone. Afterward, he's likely taken to the organ harvesters, the group already engaged in that kind of operation. And at the moment when the process of removing player 246 organs is about to begin, she'll step in and take everyone out, all the triangles and the doctor involved in the trafficking. After all, number 11 already has a major issue with this group. She's always been against keeping people alive just to harvest their organs, so nothing would stop her from taking them all down right then and there. Number 11 could then provide first aid to player 246 to help him recover, or even better, force the organ harvesting doctor to treat him. Once 246 recovers, she could shoot the doctor as well. Then, she'd take the uniforms from the dead Triangle guards involved in the trafficking, and voila, 246 is now infiltrated. This makes sense because Triangles would all be part of the same group as number 11, which would make communication between them a bit easier. But how does player 246's infiltration and alliance with number 11 impact Season 3 of Squid Game? First, it would tie into the continuation of the rebellion against the games. Number 11 would think of and attempt countless ways to get player 246 out of there safely, but she'd quickly realize that it's nearly impossible. After all, the facility is heavily secured, they're being watched 24/7, and it's almost impossible to leave undetected. Even though number 11 wants to save 246, he knows he can't leave empty-handed. One way or another, he needs to get his hands on a large sum of money to save his daughter, who is gravely ill and requires expensive medical care to survive. Without the money, she'll die. So the only way for 246 to get out alive and help his daughter is to either steal the money or bring the games down to take the money. This is where his storyline could intersect with Gi-hun's, as Gi-hun also wants to bring down the games. Look how interesting this is. Maybe the games won't end because of Gi-hun, who has been preparing so hard for it, but because of a desperate mother, number 11, whom the black square promised to reunite with her lost daughter, and a desperate father, player 246, who is doing everything he can to save his sick daughter. The two of them might just be the key players in bringing the games to an end, all out of love for their children. On top of that, we still have Junho's storyline, where he's trying to uncover the location of the islands but keeps getting sabotaged by the boat captain, who is very likely a subordinate of the frontman. He's trying to track down the locations of the games, and eventually he will find everything. At that point, number 11 and player 246 could play a crucial role in helping Junho get closer to the games. They could be the ones to facilitate his arrival, finally bringing Junho closer to the action and giving him more meaningful screen time. Because honestly, up until now, the poor guy has been played for a fool non-stop. So think about this with me, the factions working to end the games. We have number 11 and player 246 infiltrated and causing chaos behind the frontman's back. Then there's Gi-hun, who won't give up. In fact, I have a theory that he has everything under control even though he's been captured. I'll leave the link here so you can check it out because it's a pretty cool theory. And finally, we have Junho, who will definitely figure out the location sooner or later. So we've got three very dangerous factions aiming to bring down the games, but this could also, now hear me out because this is more of a far-fetched theory, be the main reason we might see a clash between the frontman and the black square who has been acting as the interim leader. I don't know if you noticed, but in the dialogue between number 11 and the black square regarding the organ trafficking, it's implied that the frontman has no idea what's going on. Once again, the frontman is unaware that this is happening. And okay, in the first season, the frontman was furious about the organ trafficking because the guards involved in it pulled in a player who was a doctor to assist with the extractions in exchange for information about the upcoming games. This upset the balance of the competition. The games were no longer fair. That's when he put an end to everything. But this time, the doctor involved is actually one of the guards. And apparently the one who brought this team together for this job was the Black Square. It looks like he orchestrated the whole operation and called on people he knows and trusts to handle it. We know he's known number 11 for a long time, and it'll be this very group of people he trusts that will cause the games to face their first real crisis. The frontman could end up blaming him for this failure, one born purely out of the Black Square's personal interest. After all, this organ trafficking has nothing to do with the games. If you think about it, it's a breach in security. Not to mention another point, was the Black Square even authorized to personally select people to work in the games? Because the real leader is the frontman. He's the one in charge of everything. So logically, he would be the one responsible for that role. Does the frontman even know that the Black Square brought in his buddies to make some extra cash? Maybe the frontman assigned people for the job and the Black Square just went over his head and replaced them with people he trusts. So there are several little details here that could make sense for this potential clash. But as I mentioned, this theory is a bit more out there. One thing is certain though, number 11 and player 246 will have extremely important roles in Season 3. That much is confirmed. Their presence now as infiltrators will bring a huge amount of tension. Will the frontman figure it out? Will the Black Square discover them? Will the players themselves, or even Gihun, realize that there are two infiltrators among them? I'm betting everything on the idea that number 11 and player 246 will be the heart of Season 3, connecting all the storylines and making this the best season of Squid Game yet. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to help us grow. It really makes a huge difference. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.